And my apologies, my internet at home is not working. We had a power outage last night in King City, and for some reason, I cannot connect. So we are on the cell service. So praying this works today, guys. All right. So talking about supercharging your success and how do we get there quickly? So I was reflecting today, running on the treadmill. What is self-confidence? Can anyone just unmute and shout it out or type into the text into your chat box there? What is self-confidence? How do we get self-confidence?
Knowledge.
Knowledge, yeah, absolutely. Anyone else? Okay.
I think it's how you
By
internally.
practicing, like, yeah. I was gonna say, like, by doing an activity over and over again, practicing it, you get more experience with it and therefore more self-confidence.
Yeah, love that. How about you, Jake?
I was going to say, to me, self-confidence is how you internally view yourself. It's what you truly think beyond what others think.
Yeah, and I love that definition. I love them all, and especially that one, Jake, because I think really where self-confidence comes from is keeping commitments to yourself, right? And what's the truth, right? I let myself down. I do that less often than I used to. And I think for all of us, like, how many people actually get up and do what you've committed to do each and every day, right? So throw it out there. So who gets up every single day and does exactly what you've committed to do every day? Who's doing that? Okay, how about like 90%? Who's at 90%? Jake, yep. If Courtney was on, and I don't know if she is, Courtney 100% would be meeting those commitments 90%, right? But the truth is, for most of us, that temptation of social media scrolling, Netflix, chips in front of Netflix, popcorn, just chilling out, just doing other things that actually don't get us where we want to go is where we end up spending most of our time. So I think the important thing to realize is your self-confidence, which in turn actually creates your success, comes from the small commitments first. So what I was going to say is, for anyone that wants to be successful very quickly, the first thing you're going to have to start with is starting out by making small commitments to yourself. Forget about the GCI you've committed to do this year. You forget about this big picture. Break this down to literally, what am I going to do today, right? What's that commitment I'm going to make today? Because when you start making those small commitments to show up for yourself every single day when no one's looking, right? Then ultimately you're going to start to build off that and build self-confidence and then attract more success. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you need accountability. So what I would recommend, I actually set myself up with a social media posting partner, and we were required to post into this group every day. And then she went on holiday, things got off track, and we both fell apart. So what I learned from that is you have to choose someone who's relentless in their ability to do what it is in the area you want the success, right? So for social media posting, this person who's amazing and incredible is probably not the best choice for me in terms of having an accountability partner and messaging every day. So who here has an accountability partner that you check in with either daily or weekly? Anyone? For anything, like it could be fitness, could be health, or personal growth, real estate related. Does anyone actually do that? Anyone? No, we don't, right? And the truth is, if we don't have someone to check in with and help sort of hold us accountable to our goal, and what we do is say, look, I'm going to make this commitment. I'm going to do this every single day. And then you're committing to do this thing. We're going to partner up. And then we have a self-imposed consequence or reward based on whether we did the activity or didn't. And it has to be something that is actually going to have an effect, right? This has to be also someone that you respect. The problem is if you do it with someone that's, you know, kind of resonating where you're resonating and happy for you just to kind of be with them and hang out and not do the work and actually grow yourself into being successful, that's going to pull you down a couple pegs, right? So always remember, you are the 5 people you have surrounded yourself with. And so many of us know this, and we need to pay closer attention. I think the third thing is focus, right? Has anyone ever seen that video with the German Shepherd that's waiting for the puck and they're throwing everything at it in the net? And the shepherd's going like this. He's going all over the place. But he's waiting for the puck. So he's literally ignoring everything else that's being shot at him. Has anybody seen that?
Nope.
Okay. I know SG has, for sure. So with that video, the dog is literally waiting for just the puck. He's ignoring everything else that's coming at him. And I think the importance of that is realizing, look, there's so much stuff that comes at us all day, social media, more training seminars, more this, more that. There's so much stuff, when the reality is we just have to focus on the one activity that's actually going to move us forward. And that is the lead gen side. So we don't need to be completely old school about it. I've really shifted my perspective on this, even attending conferences over the past 6 months. I think you can have a lot of success using YouTube, using Instagram, using marketplace ads and all of these things, but you've got to be very disciplined about it. And again, I would definitely recommend having some kind of accountability partner where you're doing like a check-in when you start and then a check-in when you finish and moving on to other activities. So there's so many lead generation things that you could be doing. The reality is that at the end of the day, who's actually responsible to do the work?
We are.
We are.
We are.
You. Exactly. And that's the challenge, right? The challenge is that if you're finding difficulty in showing up for yourself, you absolutely have to bring in someone else to help hold you accountable. Because the truth is, why are we here? Like for each one of us, what is your purpose? What is your reason? So just shout out a couple reasons. Why are you here working as a realtor? Who are you doing this for? Anyway.
Financial
myself and my
freedom,
family.
Myself and my family.
Yeah.
Jinx.
Right? This is a repeated thing, right? For self and for family. For me,
other people.
For other people, yeah, serving other people. And that's really my bigger thing, is really more, it's just, again, serving other people. My husband loves shiny things, as most of you know. And that brings me joy to see him have shiny things and provide those opportunities for my 2 little grandboys, and just everyone else in my world, right? So I think it's important to understand that at the end of the day, if you're not getting the success, if you're really, 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 really honest with yourself, the truth is that you're not doing the work. If you were your biggest self and you're looking into the future and you're saying, this is the incredible life I want to build, this is the future self that I have, you have to go to that future self and ask them in every couple times a day, is this the activity that my future self, who's incredible and amazing and lives this amazing life, would be doing right now? Because the truth is, for so many of us, it's not, right? And even for me, I have to give myself a slap here and there just to get back on track, right? You can feel tired, you can feel run down, you can have a headache, you can have all of these things going on. And the reality is that that's also sabotage that's happening that will stop you from getting your success. So you have to have the discipline, which comes from that self-confidence. These are just habits you're building, right? And so again, if you can't do this yourself, choose an accountability partner. Stop listening to what everyone's saying, because there's so much noise on social media, so much talking, so many people who are doing They say, right, they're doing all these incredible, amazing things. Now I have the IMS stats, so I can see into the background of what they're actually achieving. And I can tell you, there's very few people that are out there chattering away about what everyone should be doing that are actually performing in the back end, right? So stop listening to the noise and what everyone's saying and pay attention to their actions. Put them all into a silent movie and just observe what they're doing. Who has the habits that you want? Who has the success that you want? And then go and ask that person to mentor you, right? Go and spend time getting these amazing accountability partners. This is so easy. It's such an easy business. And the cool thing is, guys, you're in a business where literally you could dial each time you pick up a phone and dial. Jake Jordan, how much is that an hour? If we work that out to average commission and we dialed 2 hours a week, right? Or 2 hours a day for a week, how much would that equate to in terms of commission per hour? Do you know?
I don't have the exact number. I know Courtney broke it down exactly her specific numbers, and it was somewhere in the $80 to $100 an hour range, which is more than a doctor. It's more than a lot of people, right?
Yeah.
So very
I
good.
think 360 an hour. Yeah.
Yeah.
When she breaks it down. So that's the important thing to understand is, guys, this is more, you have the potential here to earn more than a doctor, just like Jake said. You're going to earn more than most lawyers, most accountants. All these people are capped in what they earn. The difference for you is this is a life-changing business. And the people you get to meet, right? The clients you get introduced to. And so the number one focus to be able to attract those clients to you is, one, you must serve them at the highest possible level. That means all day, every day, you are watching your phone for communication with clients. Even when you're with other clients, if they send a text, you send them a quick text back. In a meeting, I will call you at 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and then make a note in your calendar right then and there to make sure that you're reminded to do so, right? This has to be super fast service. The reality is this: if you inquire on something, let's say that anyone here is shopping, let's say you're shopping for a house. You see one you absolutely love, you've just got to have this house, right? You call the agent, right? They don't call you back. What do you do next? Anyone?
You move on and find someone who can help you quickly.
Yeah. Yes, you move on. So the reality is your life may be at this pace, this slower kind of cadence. You cannot serve clients at the highest level at that cadence. Successful people do not have that cadence. So you have to kind of snap to it, start moving quicker, start doing things quicker, carefully, of course, but you need to get moving. And I really do believe this is like the most incredible business and a most incredible opportunity any of us could have been given, truly. And you can create anything you want. Like literally within 2 weeks, you could have incredible closing, right? You could have all of this commission coming in based on this high desire to serve and high desire to show up for yourself. But it's not going to change until you stop talking and start walking, right? And the business over the past 2 weeks, even just the offers we've seen in the last 5 days on big properties, luxury stuff even, the market is now starting to run. You need to feel a sense of urgency of getting it done right now, right? And the truth is, if you're not prepared to do it, you don't belong in the business. And it may be time for you to move on and look at something else, because you have to be willing to grow. You have to be willing to dig in. You have to want more. And the last really, really big thing, and this is the number one thing for me, and what I believe is, if you don't have this piece, you have nothing. And that is the visualization and the mindset, right? And everyone, or most people know this about me, but as a new agent, I moved up to an area where I knew no one. I was a new agent in that pocket. There were 3 dominant agents. There's no reason that I had the incredibly quick and big success that I had, other than I got up every single day and said, how do I serve? Please send me the people I'm meant to serve. Please keep the people away that I'm not meant to serve. All of my clients are generous and kind and giving people. And then I would spend every single day driving that lakefront, sipping my Tim Hortons coffee. And I know some of you get tired of hearing it, but that's the truth. So if you want to dominate in an area, you want that success, you don't necessarily need to drive through the neighborhood doing what I was doing, declaring all of these buyers and sellers are mine, right? Visualizing it, feeling it, seeing it, all of those things, seeing my signs. You don't necessarily need to do that, but at least taking 15 minutes to sit in a chair, close your eyes, relax every part of your body, start from your head, go down to your toes. And once you're fully relaxed, now clear your mind and then start to put in images and visions and color movies with sound and smells and everything, and visualize that success that you want. It's going to be uncomfortable at first, right? When you don't have the success and you start that visualization process, it feels uncomfortable. But the truth is that as you continue to do it every single day and make that commitment to do it, I will guarantee you, absolutely guarantee you, that all of a sudden incredible things happen for you. And that is the coolest, most exciting thing, when you realize that what you're visualizing is actually what you're creating. And the biggest person in our world who's been able to create incredible success as a billionaire doing that is Glenn Sanford, the founder of EXP. That's exactly how he built EXP, starting from 2009. That's entirely his mindset. So Glenn had gone through periods of bankruptcy. He had no money. He's been everywhere. And there's so many of these stories. The founder of Spanx, Sarah, she actually journaled every day and visualized having a very successful company, which is now $1 billion valuation, right, for Spanx. Who else? Lady Gaga. She journaled and visualized all her success. She was on Oprah saying that years ago. So Marilyn Monroe, she would literally visualize as a teenage girl saying, everywhere I go, people stop and stare at me because I'm so beautiful. Now, if you look at Marilyn, she was a pretty person. If you could pull her apart, people could sit there and pick apart her looks. But there's no question that when she turned into Marilyn, she could walk in a room and was just incredible. So I really believe that truly everyone can do this. Everyone can entirely shift their world. And you have to make the decision that it starts today. It starts now. And again, it's going to go back to those small promises we make to ourselves, and then the focusing on serving others. So I would highly recommend you get an accountability partner today. And again, stop listening to what everyone else is saying. Pay attention to their action. Are they showing up for themselves? Do they have the success in the area of their life that you want to emulate? And that could be different from health to, you know, their business, to their relationship, to their spiritual growth. You're going to have to go and find those people, you know. And in terms of lead gen, you've got the examples right here. So anyone wanting those mentors on lead gen, we have so many of these incredible people. And even, you know, Jake running our live dial Monday to Friday, 9:30 to 10:30. You know, Courtney with these, anytime anyone wants help for dialing, Courtney's always there. And she has that also, that super high discipline of physical fitness, right? That ultimately impacts her energy. So I just wanted to work to help everyone today and find a way to get through, to explain, like, this is a magical world we live in. And if you look at each day as like, you get to open this incredible gift, imagine each day as a present, and you're going to unwrap it and see what incredible thing is coming for you. So I hope that helps, guys. Now, does anyone have any questions or comments or examples even in your own life of how some of these things have worked?
Can I just jump in really quickly, Jen, if that's okay? I have
Absolutely.
these developers I mentioned to you in Ottawa, and it turns out they're a little cash strapped and they're looking for private lending. I was just at the bank, and the gentleman in line in front of me, he's a private lender, and he also has 14 lots up for sale. He's like, "Hey, can you take my number and let's chat about this later?" I was just last night going, "Okay, I have to help these people. They really need the help. I need to find an answer for them." And I just went to the bank, and this guy was like, "Yeah, I do this." I was like,
This
"Whoa, how did that happen? That's crazy."
And so what's interesting, so Shavana, you're standing in line, you just chat with people, don't you? You just take those opportunities and chat.
Yeah, why not?
See? And
Yeah.
this is the difference. This is the difference. You have to be open. You have to understand that other people are nervous. Other people are uncomfortable socially, right? And Shavana is so gifted in the area of relationship and helping other people feel warm and welcome and invited, right? So if you don't, let's say, Shavana, somebody didn't feel that way inside themselves, which is most people, how can they bring their spirit out and show up more like you? What are you telling yourself? What are you doing that you're able to have those conversations with anyone?
I find so I went through a lot of change in the last couple of years. So I really went through like a really dark time, and it took a long time for me to get back to here, to be honest with you. And now I find that the one thing, and somebody reminded me this yesterday, when you smile at someone, they automatically something changes in them, that they will smile back at you, and you just start that hello, hi, how are you today, what's going on, just what's going on with you. Or we were waiting in the bank. I didn't realize the bank didn't open at 8 anymore. It opened at 9, and I was like, oh, I walked into the vestibule with people, and I was like, oh, it's full house in here. And then people just laughed and just started chatting, and I had a smile, and everyone smiled back at me. It was just so good.
I love that. And the truth is, if you hadn't had that conversation, if you had gone in there with a flat affect, is what I call it, right? If you'd got in flat affect, your head's down, you're not paying attention, you don't make that comment, you don't work to bring joy into that environment, you wouldn't have made that contact. And the universe or God or whatever, whoever believes, that had been sent to you, that contact this morning, to solve your challenge that you asked for help in, right? So
Yeah.
I do feel like there's so many times we're sent guidance or someone to come. We've asked for help, we prayed for help, we've asked to be guided, and someone's sent and we don't pay attention or we ignore it, right?
Yes.
And it's a
Yeah.
perspective and being open, right? So and thank you, Shavana. That was so good. That's like perfect example. Anyone else?
I was going to give an example more along the lines of visualization. So last year was the first year that at the beginning of the year, I sat down and I wrote a letter to myself. And in that letter, like after visualizing, I wrote out all my goals, like professionally, personally, relationship wise, whatever. And it was very powerful. I surpassed these were big goals, and I surpassed them all. And I really think it's because I took the time to visualize what I wanted, and obviously daily thought about those goals, and it was really powerful. And I know other people on the team have done it in the past too. So that's something that I continue to do each year.
And I was just going to add, and Jennifer knows, like, since I joined the team, yes, I always thinking and seeing, and even on my board, I had that waterfront property, right? And like at that time, I was like, oh, really, will it happen? It's so expensive, blah, blah, blah. And ended up that 2.5 years ago, I bought the waterfront property. That's where I live right now.
Yeah,
And
it's so incredible. It just warms my heart.
Jen, can I say something?
Yes.
So I think definitely I get inspired by our clients. When you're authentic, when genuinely you care, they feel it, they see it, they send you referrals, and you make amazing connections. So I've done 3 deals with one of the sign calls clients. Now, again, she messaged me, she's like, "You're working Brighton." I said, "Absolutely." So this is how the business grows. They trust you and you do your absolute best. And I think like that's the way to go, like making a great connection and authentically, genuinely working for them.
And I think that is your superpower, Miriam, is that connection and authenticity with clients. And I see it myself firsthand, their response to you. And that it's such an incredible gift. So again, if you want superpower in authenticity, connection with client, showing up the way that like really changes the client, Miriam's someone that should be mentoring you into that role for sure. So good. Anybody?
I agree 100%. I agree 100% with Shivana. Smile to everybody. Smile when you even call the phone. People can feel it.
Well, it's funny, even we've got 4 minutes left here. Back a year and a half ago, I'd gone to a build event with Brent Gove. I saw Brent Gove on stage and I was like, this guy, he is fire. He is just so incredible and inspirational. And I want to be like Brent Gove, right? So I go away from that. I'm not thinking about it at that point. It's just sort of like one of those things I put it in my vision board in my mind, right? I want to be like Brent Gove. 3 months later, I'm getting calls from EXP. Can you come on stage for this? Can you come on stage for that? Can you come on stage for this? And even last year, I got up on stage. Brent Gove went right after me. He stood up on stage. I was in the front row. And he actually said, he looked right at me and he goes, and you, Jennifer Jones, I am so impressed by you, right? This was a big deal for me. And having him in my mind, I said, I'm so grateful Brent calls me. Brent reaches out to me. I want that connection. I want him to mentor me in that area of my life. And he actually texted me a couple days ago. We ended up on the South African trip for Build. We ended up with Brent, his wife, and his 2 girls with Randy and Jolene on basically a private safari with them for 4 days without planning it, without knowing it. And we just connected on this very deep level. So again, what you're believing and visualizing in your mind, it has to be so big. So that last really, really important thing is, how big are you dreaming? Right? People say, oh, I want to be realistic. Guys, what is realistic? I always say we're on a giant globe, the earth, flying through space, spinning, right? And you're being held upside down by your feet. Like, what is reality, right? I believe we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And our job here is to learn to grow and be your truly authentic self. You have to bring everything you are out without worrying about what everybody else thinks. And you have to work to serve other people and be here in love. But your number one job is to become fully what you have been intended for. You do not want to be at the end of your life, which could be tomorrow, right? There's no guarantee here, guys. It could be 10 years, it could be 50 years. We don't know. So don't leave all these promises and giftings in your heart that should be out and shared with everybody. Don't leave them there. Stop worrying about what everyone else thinks and get out there and just be incredible and awesome. And if you struggle to get the daily little things done out of integrity to yourself, partner with someone who's going to actually hold you accountable and will not slip. And we have all of those people on the team. Anna's a great example. Courtney, Carol, Steph, Deanna, right? Jake, we've got Laura Short. We have so many incredible people that show up for everybody and make sure that you're able to achieve the success you want. So I hope that helps this morning. And again, I'm always here. You can reach out to me at any time if you need anything. And let's just go kill it. This is like seriously the best year ever. 2024 is for real estate. This is a time to grab and take hold. So everyone have a great day.